Hi-ho YouTube, Major Cord here. I figured that I would sort of complete my series of everyday carry videos that I've been posting recently and do an overview of my personal first aid kit. I've done a PFAC video before, and I will link it up here, down here, wherever, potentially down in the description box if I can't figure out how to do an annotation now. Because a lot of the components in that kit are in here. But I've sort of fleshed it out, updated it over the years, and I've come to a place where I'm happy with the capabilities of this kit as it stands. I would always like to increase my capabilities, increase what I can treat, how I can treat it, while decreasing the size of the kit. But I think there's always that, to steal a not and fancy term, size versus weight constraints. So as your capability goes up, your size also goes up with it. So you have to sort of stop at the point where your capabilities inhibit you from carrying a compact kit like you'd want to carry. So that said, the kit itself is a Be Prepared or Be Smart Get Prepared first aid kit from Walmart. This kit retails for, I think, maybe $4 or $5, and, well, glare from the lights. Anyway, $4 or $5, and what comes in it is actually pretty comprehensive. You can treat a lot of things with just this. But I wanted to use this for my own homemade kit, so I sort of repurposed the container. And inside, if I can get it open, you can see it's a lot more than what would come just in this kit. What I might do at some point in the future is just buy another one of those kits, because they are nice to have around, and just review the kit as is, because I do like it. But what I did is I took out the giant ice pack that sits in that kit normally, and I sort of pillaged the components for my own needs, and then integrated my kit as is into this. So you'll see my kit is pretty much waterproof. The container itself is not. There's no gasket on it, there's no seal, but pretty much everything I have in here is in its own Ziploc bag, so there's no worry about that. I guess I'll just go from the top down and let's dig into it. First thing right on top are a set of nitrile gloves. I'm not going to need this if I'm working on myself or a family member, but if I happen to be helping somebody who I don't know or whose condition I'm not aware of, I will pop those on. And I should say right off the bat, I'm not a first responder. I'm not like trained or certified in any way other than basic first aid and CPR. But I keep this kit on me as sort of like a, well, what if, just in case sort of scenario. It's not too advanced. Everything in here is something that I know how to use, so I'm not too concerned about needing special training for it. Right on top is a sort of pharmacy bag. I'm not going to open this up and go into it, but inside you can see there's a section for antibiotics, not antibiotics, wow. What are they called? Anti-allergy meds, whatever, Dyphon, whatever it's called, Benadryl. Sudafed, so things with your nose. I have my daily medications right up front where I can access them in case I forget to take a dose. I have a bag containing some antacids, which have been crushed. In the middle there, you can see I have sandwiched some pain relievers, so ibuprofen and Advil. I personally can't take aspirin, so all my pain relievers are non-aspirin. Again, this kit is pretty much tailored to me. I do have a pill in here to prevent vomiting. That also goes along with the anti-diarrheal pills, which I actually need to restock. But yeah, each pill type is sort of subdivided into its own little zip-top baggie here for additional waterproofness and organization. And, it helps for me just because I figure I'm not going to need to get into these with any super-duper quick speed, so I can take the couple extra seconds to open a couple bags and get into what I need, rather than digging around through a bunch of pills and cross-contamination and all that stuff. This is just the B.O.B kit. There's a bunch of alcohol prep pads. There's a bigger sized adhesive Band-Aid. There's a bunch of smaller Band-Aids in here. So this alone would make a pretty ideal pocket-sized first aid kit, because you can take care of, my guess is 90% of the scrapes and bumps that you're going to encounter in your daily life. So this is probably the most used component, along with this tube of triple antibiotic. And I intentionally went for the small tube because it fits right here, and I like it better than the single serve packets. Those are great for a pocket first aid kit, but in something this size, I definitely want a tube, just because I can use it over and over again, and it's economical. So that's what I want. On top of that, while we're talking about ointments and stuff, I keep a tube of Carmex. Lip balm is obviously very important. You can use it for a lot of things in a survival situation, but I find that Carmex in general makes just a good topical ointment. You can spread it on a blister, burn, whatever. It makes you feel better. A lot of it, I think, is probably it's just inside your head. But at the same time, you know what? It's small. I'll keep it in here. Why not? It does have a little bit of analgesic qualities. So, because I think there's eucalyptus or whatever in here. The beeswax does a lot to protect wounds. So while this will keep them clean, this will make sure your skin is protected. So this is sort of like your preventative, and this is your aftercare. On top of that, I have a bag of Coban and medical tape. I prefer the fabric tape as opposed to the transport tape, just because I find this to actually stick a little better. And if I need to keep something on the skin, I'm not concerned about the skin necessarily breathing or pulling off hair or whatever. I want the damn thing to stick. So short of using duct tape, I find that this actually works pretty well. And more, I really like Coban because it doesn't stick to you, but it sticks to itself. So I'm kind of trending more toward this stuff recently, but I find that medical tape is still a good standby. And I just have them each wrapped around a little length of plastic card. And, the couple feet that I have on there is more than enough to take care of whatever this kit will encounter. I just have one beverage packet. This isn't necessarily a Gatorade or a Pedialyte type of thing, but this is more to sort of wake you up, get the juices flowing. I probably should replace it with a Pedialyte or a Gatorade, but again, it's just one of those things that I'll get around to when the time comes. I'm not too concerned. I'm not too concerned about replacing it. So, that said, it's in here. It's not doing any harm. It'll probably do a bit of good. This is actually from this kit, from the Be Smart Get Prepared kit, and it's just a bunch of Q-tips. I mean, these are obviously good for spreading around your ointments and creams and, if nothing else, for cleaning out ears and wounds. So, good to have. They don't take up any space, especially in a box like this. And now we're getting to some wound care. Again, this kit's kind of built up from the bottom as to what you're going to need first. And this, again, is stuff that I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to need very often, so I keep it at the bottom of the kit. The B.O.B kit here, is more likely to be needed than a kit containing a bunch of non-adherent sterile pads and gauzes. I have in here probably 2 or 3 2x2s, I think 3 or 4 3x3s, and a few of these non-adherent sterile pads. So, again, I'm not too concerned with giving you guys the exact number of Band-Aids or gauze pads that I carry, because I figure every single person who builds their own first aid kit is going to carry a different number of every single component. This is tailored to me. It's based on what I believe I can carry, what I think I need. And most of these components, like this Assured brand, is from the dollar store. So these things can be expensive, but they don't have to be. I find that a lot of quality medical kit components can come from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, wherever you happen to shop. Just a tampon. Again, more for the girlfriend's convenience than mine, but you know what? This is designed to stop blood. If you have an irregularly shaped wound, pack this in here. It's pretty much common sense, but it's one of those things that fits perfectly in the kit. Why not carry it? And the last thing, well, almost the last thing, I do keep a set of tweezers with their little guard on it to aid in picking things out, removing splinters, cleaning out crap from wounds. And these can be sanitized with either a lighter or one of the plethora of alcohol pads I have in here. So I'm not too worried about keeping them waterproof and sterile. This is like my serious wound kit right here. I have a bunch of antiseptic, hand towels and wipes, and deeper in there I have some alcohol pads. There's a couple BZK pads. I have a bunch of these butterfly closures. I probably have, 15 or 20 of them. And that can handle a pretty large wound. Most small cuts that you're going to get, maybe on your hand or whatever, are maybe going to require 3 or 5 of these, if that. If they need more than that, you should really get stitches. You shouldn't be handling that yourself unless you're a doctor. So I carry more than enough of these to use them and not need to restock the kit right away. I also, thinking of sort of that, well, what if shit hits the fan, I'm not able to get to medical attention right away, or, what if it's a case of I just want to take care of the wound and keep on going with my day sort of thing. I also keep 2 or 3 Tegaderm seals in here. And Tegaderm is nice because it sort of seals off a wound or cut and allows things to permeate out but nothing to get in. That's sort of like your top layer of care. So you'd, you'd put on whatever dressing you're going to, whatever care and ointment, and then you just slap the Tegaderm on top to keep it all waterproof and secure. I also carry liquid bandage in here, again, just for sealing up things that maybe a Band-Aid won't do. Maybe it's on a flexible part of skin. This is like my last resort before I need to maybe consider going to an emergency room. And that's why it's at the bottom of the kit. So that said, this is my entire first aid kit. It fits very well inside this plastic container. It does not weigh a whole lot, maybe a few ounces. It's not very heavy, and it fits very well inside my everyday carry pack. As always, comments, suggestions, constructive criticism is welcome in the comment section. If you have video responses, feel free to post them below. Check out social media, Twitter, Instagram, for any updates that I might have. And thank you for watching. Take care.